Not all video games have a smooth ride during development. Delays, budgets, cancellations, they're all very common occurrences. But Hytale was especially bad. Today, I will be talking about Hytale's disastrous journey to its release. Now, what can we expect from this presentation? I will cover the early days of Hytale's development, how Riot Games was involved, and how it was cancelled and eventually revived. Multiplayer servers in Minecraft are a staple of the game. Millions of people join and play minigames like Bed Wars, Sky Wars, or Murder Mystery. Hypixel has built up a reputation running these minigames, and has become the largest and most well-known server. However, in 2014, Mojang updated Minecraft's EULA, the end-user license agreement, to limit what servers are allowed to sell. You see, before this update, servers were selling perks and items that granted competitive advantages. Since this update, servers are only allowed to sell cosmetics. As you may expect, profits crash practically overnight, with Hypixel losing 85% revenue. Because of this, Simon Hypixel Collins LaFlamme, the CEO of Hypixel, decides to start their own game. One where they are not limited by Minecraft's engine or their rules, and so the development of Hytale starts. Hytale takes the creative freedom and sandbox genre of Minecraft, including its modding capabilities as well as turning it into an RPG. Graphics and environment are heavily inspired by its predecessor and are built upon. The first public announcement of the game's development was in late 2018. This announcement included 2 full minutes of gameplay, cinematics, and world building. It absolutely exploded in popularity, receiving 31 million views in its first month. This attention caught attention of one of the biggest companies in the world. Riot Games is known for League of Legends and Valorant, so why did they invest in Hytale? Well, some Riot Games employees were huge fans of the Hypixel server, and they reached out with fan letters looking to invest. So, Hytale's budget grew from a small budget afforded by Hypixel's revenue to over $3 million. During this time, Riot had only invested, so Hypixel was still working independently. But on April 16th, 2020, a major turn occurred. Riot announces the purchase of Hypixel Studios, the team working on the project. And during this time, Simon steps back, so Riot is now in charge. This is the first domino that falls. Riot's infinite scope creep takes over, desiring to perfect countless additions to the game, and not even accounting for time. You see, up until this point, the game is coded to be accessible only on PC, unavailable to crossplay. But Riot wants to do that, crossplay. Mobile, consoles, PC, accessible for all, profit from all. So they call to rebuild from scratch. But on June 23rd, 2025, Riot announces the cancellation of Hytale. The game will no longer be released. Due to their infinite scope creep, the amount of features they worked on forced countless delays and massive amounts of money, all with no end in sight. They pulled the plug. The community was upset. A promising game destroyed. However, on August 13th, 2025, Simon Hypixel negotiates with Riot. 3 months later, he has Hytale. He successfully reacquires the game from Riot, but now he has a choice to make. Given both the legacy code, the original one before Riot's acquisition, and the unfinished code by Riot Games, which should he continue? Well, Simon's old team is still here, and they all know the original code inside out, so Simon chooses the original. Hytale releases pre-purchase for early access on December 13, 2025, exactly 7 years since the original announcement. Revenue from this alone generated the team enough money to continue development for 2 years. Community reviews were outstandingly positive, praising the game's mechanics and environment. Even though it was really buggy, the fans were absolutely loving it. YouTube legends including DanTDM and Mumbo Jumbo even played it on their channel. So there we have it, a game built on the back of the Minecraft Hypixel server, to be pushed to the ground by Riot Games and cancelled, all to be revived by Simon, and delivered to one of the most dedicated fanbases in gaming. Thank you for listening.